JD, welcome to my channel. What do I have here? I've got an old Omega Air Force pocket watch. As it says on the pocket watch, it's Omega, highlighted here, and it's got the Omega symbol. Very simple Arabic numerals here, and it is Swiss made, as you can see down there. Swiss made. It's a pretty basic watch, I'd say. The crown is pretty simple, and I think it's got a NATO strap on it, but I think there's a reason for that NATO strap being there, because if I look at these don't look like they're going to come out anytime soon. So when I looked at this, I was able to snap the case open, and let's have a look at what this looks like. So it just had a simple snap-on case, and this is what the movement looks like right there, folks. So Omega Swiss, it is 16 joules, and it's there's the symbol here for advance, and right here advance and retard, which is speed up and slow down. And I'm told that this watch kind of barely runs. It's the owner thought it was an automatic watch, but it's not. It's a manual watch. You wind it. So if I wind this watch up, I got to face it this way while I wind. It's just a bad habit of mine. So I'm going to wind this watch up a bit and see if I can get the balance ticking away here, and see what the amplitude looks like on this balance. Now it looks like it's got that wheel that's above the plate, as you can see, and that is a typical of a Rolex watch. I didn't know the Omega watches had that as well. So that's fully wound right now. So that's yeah, that's typical of the Omega watch. Sorry, the Rolex watch. This wheel right here, and not not an Omega, although I'm not an Omega watch expert. So I would love to check out its amplitude. So just hang on 1 second. Let's see if we can do that. Alright, so I've got my e-timer software running, which is Watch Escape Analyzer and Timer, and I've got a video on the timing microphone, I guess you could say, that I've purchased a while back off of a site out of China, AliExpress, I believe, and this works exceptionally well to capture the amplitude of the watch. So if you look at that there, it looks like it's saying the amplitude is 231, 237, 238, 240. That's actually pretty darn good. I'm going to have to check that out in slow-mo with my iPhone. But that's pretty good amplitude. If you look at this old watch, let's just bring this up a bit. 253, 254, so there's nothing wrong with this at all. This is running around, yeah, plus or minus 9 seconds a day, it says. So that's the device. Now if I look at the trace alone, we turn off this secondary capture here that I've got going, and let's just look at the trace. And if you can see up here, you can see in the center the lines are, I'll move over here so you can see the lines are moving pretty darn good. The beat error is a little high, but not terrible. So it's a little bit over 1. You want that under 1 for a beat error. But here's a signal here that's running pretty darn good. So I see no real issues with this watch as it is right now. Just reset that, and this software is really good when it comes to actually looking at the actual signal, and it's picking up the pallet stones hitting the escapement here, and the amplitude is running very high, so very well actually, at 262, which is an exceptional amplitude. So the gentleman who gave this to me said it only runs for 3 hours and then it stops. So he said it only works for 3 hours, and I said, well, it must be an Air Force watch. Now that was I thought a very good joke. So I'm going to have a look at this under the microscope to see if there's any objects in there that are floating around, see if there's any issues there with this watch, and not sure whether I should disassemble this or not, as it's running exceptionally well. I'm not sure when the last time it was serviced, but we'll have a look at that. The beat error is a little bit high, but the amplitude is exceptional. So I'm going to turn this sideways right now too. So let's just see if that amplitude changes significantly if I turn the watch sideways. So let me turn on the capture again so you can see what I'm doing. There, just turn that sideways like that. So now it's kind of, I apologize for the strap being in the way, but so the amplitude is settling in right at 232. It's still really good. That's not a problem at all. The rate, yeah, 3 or 4 seconds a day. That's excellent. And I could turn this upside down and have a look at it upside down just quickly. There's the name of the company I bought this tool from. And upside down it's a little bit worse. It's at 220, 218. So it is running, the amplitude is much worse upside down. So an upside down is actually face up. So it's as though you were sitting there with your watch facing upward. So 223, so the amplitude isn't as strong with the face up. So when I turn that around this way, it's a lot stronger. I should really have taken off this strap here. So just apologize for doing this. Just feed it out like that and set it aside. There, that's much better. And there we go. There's the movement there. So we're looking at pretty darn good amplitude in this direction. And again, if I flip it sideways like this, the amplitude is pretty much the same. Not too much, not too bad. Then if I just face it straight down here like that, and the amplitude is not too bad, but the rate is, let me see, minus 34, minus 18. It's settling in. No, the rate's not that bad either. It's sort of settling into a good number. The beat error is massive though in this direction. Again, the beat error is settling down as well. So I can look at the separation of the dots and they're not that bad. Yeah, it's actually settling down to 244, which is pretty good. So I guess the trick is here, as he has said, that the watch has got issues running in the. Let me just flick this on twice. I got a light on my camera. It's got issues running for more than 3 hours, and so I'm going to have a look at that. And it was in the retard, which is French for slow down, position. So I'll look at that as well and see if I can, if there's anything I want to do about that. But I'll take a look at this under the microscope. And, you know, there's always risk in taking apart one of these vintage watches. This watch means something to them, so we'll see whether I get brave or not and do this. If it was my watch, I'd take it, strip it apart and do work on it. But I don't do a lot of work on watches. I do mainly pocket watches. I've done a bunch of Rolexes in the past, but this thing seems to be running fairly strong. I just need to get an iPhone video of this as well, so I can trust my amplitude and not be fooled by that. All right, there's the watch again. I'm going to take a quick video of the balance just to see if it is in fact rotating. The amplitude is in fact high. So I just take my iPhone here and focus on the balance. I'll show you what I'm getting right after I finish the video. You only need a few seconds before you can see the action here. So let me just play this for you. And there we go there. So if you look at that, the amplitude is really high. You just look at one arm and it's spinning past 360, another 90 degrees, which would put it at what it's saying it's at, which was 250 or something like that, 250 degree amplitude. You divide it by 2 anyway. So that's that. So that works. So that is high. So this is a well-running movement. So now I just have to look at this under the microscope and see if there are issues. So it's a very beautiful little watch. Let's just put the back on and see what this case back says on it. It says 25 years or something. Swiss. I think it's backwards. I have to check my camera because I think it's backwards. 25 years. I don't know. Something like that. Swiss fab, Swiss made Omega. So it's an Omega case back. That's all it said. And these numbers here, I guess, are the GB159A18964. Were engraved by my friend's dad, likely. They're for my friend's dad, likely. It's a nice little movement. So let me get back, and I'll let you know whether this watch has got any problems. For now, that's it for the video, and I'll catch you later. Bye. So now I'm having a look at the Omega watch under my stereo microscope, so I can have a very good look at the movement. I can set it up on here, but I've got a pad there, so it shouldn't be an issue. So I'm going to have a look at the movement here, and just to see if I see anything crazy. I kind of wish I had a camera that would point down at the movement while I'm doing this, but I'm adjusting the microscope on the side. You'll see the height go up and down here, and I'm just trying to get a good look at this movement with the stereo microscope, so I can see if there's any floating pieces this way as well. And I can see that the hairspring is moving really well. There's no issue there at all, and the jewels look spectacular, so this must have been cleaned at some point. I'm just looking at the teeth in the wheels, the ratchet wheel over here. I'm looking at the screws to make sure there isn't anything strange going on there, and looking mainly for floating pieces. I do look at the jewels. I can get very close to the jewel settings, and with this particular microscope I've got to turn the lights on a bit to have to look deep into the jewel settings. And again, I really wish I could have a camera on the top to have a look at that, but everything looks like it's working impeccably. So he was suggesting that it stops every 3 hours, and I'm going to run it. I set the time for my current time, and I'm going to let this thing run for 3 hours exactly. I can see that the escapement, I can see a little bit of dirt on the escapement, but not much. So I may strip this down again. Not quite sure. And when I let this thing run to rest, I'll see where the pallet fork rests between the two banking pins. That way I can see which direction the bead error is, and if there's any issues at all with the bead error. But other than that, this watch looks like it's running fairly well, and not a lot of issues. So it likely needs maybe cleaning and oiling, but it doesn't look like there's any gunk left over. No oil gunk left over. Yeah, there's nothing actually. So it's in pretty good condition, friends. It's in pretty good condition. Anyway, let's move this back and have a look. Again, my joke was that this watch only works for 3 hours, so it must be an Air Force watch. Now, I have a son that's in the Air Force, and he'd give me shit hearing me say things like that, so it's just a joke, folks. So, anyway, I've had a good look at it, and I'll figure out what I want to do with this after I talk to the gentleman whose watch this is. And I'm really curious whether this watch will stop after 3 hours of working. So thanks for watching my channel. This is a quick look at a very old Omega watch. And I don't even know the movement number. If you folks know this watch, you can go on to a database website and look for the movement number. I could probably find it, but we'll continue from here. Anyway, thanks for watching my channel. I'm JD. Thanks for watching my videos. Next thing I've got to do is carve down a jewel setting for an old pocket watch on a lathe. Thanks again, and see you later.